YouTube. It's been a while. It's been a long while. I know. But I just felt like I wanted just to share some testimonies of what's been going on in my life. Since it is testimony, let me do first giving honor to God and all the people in their respective places. I'm not going to go all the way with all that, but I will say God has truly been amazing to me. He's really been amazing to me. God has done such an exceptional job with me and the things that He's just been doing. Oh, wow. How can I say this and it not come off too much? Because people say I'm churchy. And that's fine. I like being churchy. You know, I like a good praise. I'm on my way to prayer now. Hello. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Glory. Okay, so let's just catch up. Okay, so about like 2 years ago, I started experiencing some financial hardships. And I mean, when I say hardships, I mean hardships. And my son and I, as you all met Binks, we ended up losing our place. And I love that place. Like, I love that place. 3-bedroom, 2 baths, 2-car garage. I mean, it was just, I loved it. I was so in love with my place. And I was sad that I gave it up. Not evicted, I gave it up. Because I can no longer afford it with my son going to private school and just everything else. Well, I wasn't getting child support either at that time. So, we went through what we went through. And I was really hurt, sad, and depressed and everything. You know, like, oh my God, I'm living out my worst nightmare. You know, my son's not going to private school. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh my goodness, we got to give up our place and where we're going to go. Well, anyways, my son and I we started living with my parents for a little bit. Well, for that little bit, for almost a year. A little bit over a year. During that time frame, I had to really submit myself to God. When I say submit, people think submit is like this weak thing. It makes you weak. Nah, submit does not make you weak. Submit makes you actually stronger. Because it takes a lot of power to submit your will to somebody else or to something else or to a higher power, however you choose to do it. Well, I really started having to have these conversations with God. And at that time frame, I think my church had a 21-day fast. At the 21-day fast, I was expecting God to turn my situation around, just to move and just to do things for me out of the extraordinary. Because I've been faithful in this fast. I was serious about this fast. And I was like expecting God to move. Well, I did the fast. My situation didn't change. It did not change. I was like, what in the world, God? What are you doing? You know, what's up? What's up? What did I do? Did I do anything? Lord, help me be better so I can get these blessings. I can move. Well, anyways, you know, I did the fast. It was good to be subjected to God during that time frame. It was really good to be so just submit to the will of God, man. It was really good. At the time, I was so great. And then when nothing changed, I was like, man. But that's okay. You know, God, you're still great. Still great. Regardless of what, you're still great. So, then that year, my son's father and I, we ended up going to child support court. Because side note, fellas, if you ask a woman to put you on child support and she do, don't get mad at her for whatever happens, because you asked for it, right? Amen. Hello. Hallelujah. But anyway, so we went to child support court, and it didn't go the way that I was thinking it was going to go. But nevertheless, you know, the judge ordered a amount to be paid. It wasn't as much as I was hoping, but it was, it was like the bare minimum. But that's all right, though. It's all right. God is still good. So I'm going somewhere. Well, that amount did not help put my son back in private school. I still struggled to keep up the private school while living in my parents' house. that was a big blow to my pride, my ego. I had never been in that type of situation where I could not provide or get or earn or whatever. It was just really crazy because that's just not me. God's always provided for me. He's never failed me. Even though I went through all of that, God never failed me. He always provided, made sure we had everything that we needed. So I just want to say that. I just didn't get what I wanted. Well, we go through what we go through. My son ended up leaving private school and he went to public school. I was very hurt by that, but I have to do what's best. That's the thing about a single parent. You have to do what's best for you and your child above everything else. It's all about you and your baby. And I learned to put on the whole big girl panties and just go through what I had to go through. And so it was about, let's see, it was not too long ago where I was, in my situation and I was feeling really down. And I remember one day I was just like, God, I'm still at church. I'm still praising you. It was just like, you just getting that little, really? Well, God being God, God let you go through what you got. He'll let you go through your emotions because he's the God that does it. It doesn't change. He gonna let you go through it. So you don't really okay, you going through it. It's like when you see your kids crying, all right, well, I'm letting them cry it out. Then I'll deal with it when they get done. So that was basically how it happened with me. Well, I went through my little, I'm gonna come to church, but I'm not gonna come to church. I got an attitude with God. So then God began to work on me because then it was like, that's not me. That's not me. God been too good to me for me to even act like that. And sometimes we say, if he never blesses me again, if God never does anything for me, he's done enough. And that truly is a song that I take to heart because I have to say that's how I felt at the time. I mean, I didn't feel that at the time, but then as I begin to think back, all the things that God has done for me, how he has blessed me in ways that I couldn't even think about, how he's moved in ways that I didn't even know existed, So I was like, oh, okay, God, you've been good to me. There's never been a time where you failed me, so I'm going to go ahead on and say, all right, God, thank you. Well, during that time frame, I had to go through some personal things with me, with my attitude at church and my attitude with God. And God had to ask God to change me. One of my favorite scriptures is creating me a clean heart and renewing me a right spirit. That was one of the things that I say very often. And was one of my almost daily prayers is God created me a clean heart, renewing me a right spirit. Because I think that's one of the most precious things that, God can do. God's the only person that can renew your spirit. Okay. Anyways, during that time frame, I went through, God began to work on me and chisel away some things and sawing some things down. But what God ended up doing for me was I had to not only ask God to forgive me, but I needed to rededicate myself. So I began to rededicate myself to God. And then was an opportunity to get baptized again. My first time getting baptized was hilarious. Oh my God, it was so hilarious. I think I was like 8, 9, something like that. I was young. And I never forget. The Reverend put me in that water, and when he tried to come back up, he tried to put me back again. I was like, the water in my nose, I couldn't breathe, and I got the whole choir wet. It was just funny. But this time I went down, and it was so amazing, and I just felt really renewed. And so at that time frame, I had to ask, God, okay, God, help me to be a better person. Show me what I need to increase on, what I need to do better on. And he did that. God did that. So what God ended up doing was allow me to just, I had to go through some things to spend more time with God, pray more, fast a little bit more, just really show my commitment. And during all this time frame, my finances was out of whack. I mean, when I tell you I was broke, I was so broke that I remember coming to church on E with no gas money, no money, didn't know what to do. Man, it was so crazy. But God. Okay, I'm going somewhere. I know it's a little long, but I'm going somewhere with all of this. Anyways, the one thing about God is that He's not going to let you suffer. He's not going to let you go through anything. He ain't going to let you go without. He going to take care of you. It may not be to your liking, to your satisfaction, but He going to take care of you because He's never failed me. He's never failed. I would go to church and still make it. And I would be like, yeah, gotta get up in the morning and go to work. I won't make it. And it seemed like somebody would just cash at me money, or somebody at church would just, bless me, or be like, all right, I'm gonna give you this. And I'll be like, oh man, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. So, even though all this stuff was going on, my son and I were still in my parents' home. And I was just like, oh Lord, I'm ready to move, ready to get out. I love my parents, but I was just ready to get out on my own. So we went through what we went through. And during this time frame, my son's father and I were not seeing eye to eye. Things were just going on. We were just going back and forth to court. It was just crazy. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, God. Just praying, still praying. Well, one of the things that I started to examine myself about and what God began to reveal to me is my faithfulness to Him. And I'm like, my faithfulness? First of all, I'm asking God to bless my situation, to turn my situation around. And I want to pay my tithes. Not always. I might pay this month, but I know I needed some gas for next week, so I'm going to hold off for this. So I ain't going to pay this time. I got you next time. That type of situation, And so it'd be like, I'm going to give here. I'm going to give now, but I don't know. Then I'd be like, how people be like, God got everything. He don't need my little pennies. So I should be making excuses as to why I wasn't doing what I know is right. He says, give your 10%. So I had to redirect myself and be like, all right, God, the sacrifice for you is I'm going to pay. My sacrifice is I'm going to pay my 10%. And I'm going to, whatever happens, because your promise is that when I pay my 10%, I'll have more than. You will supply every need. So I'm going to be like, all right, God. So I begin to pay my tithes. And when I began to pay my tithes, my finances got worse. So I'm like, hey, God, hold up, man. Hold up. That's not what you said, Lord. So my finances began to get worse. And see, that's how the devil will trick you, is let you think that, it ain't real. What you doing? Girl, you need that gas money. Look at you. You ain't got this, you ain't got that. But through all of it, I still would declare, God, you still good. If I go without, you still good. If whatever happens, you still good. Because I know you got a blessing behind this. And the devil's trying to trick you, my mind, to tell me, God ain't hearing you. He ain't listening to you. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He heard everything God said. He hear you. He hears me. So I was like, all right, I'm still going to pay these tithes. So I began to pay my tithes. And I was like, this bill due. Phone got cut off. Which that was kind of regular. That's kind of regular. But I will say this. My phone was off, everything, and I was just like, all right, guys, so I'm just going to praise you. And all right, we're going to keep on going. I'm just going to tell you thank you. All right, cool, not a problem. Lo and behold, situations with my son's father was getting way worse. I mean, it was horrible. We was in court like almost every other month, week, whatever. It's like I was going to court all the time. Like, man, I'm not a lawyer. But anyways, so God began to bless. My son's father came into church one day, drunk, acting up, grabbing on me, everything. And I was so embarrassed and mad. It's my pastor, who I love dearly. he ended up, I guess he saw, I'm going to say he saw, because I'm not 100%. I think he saw or knew. Anyway, something happened. He saw. He called him up to speak to him, to call him up. And it's like he sat there and he was just praying. And he began to pray, and he began to pray, and he began to pray. Well, let me tell y'all something. When my pastor prayed, okay, when he prayed, not only did he pray, not only did God hear from heaven, but my son's father, who's been very much not a nice person to me, and so many different things, he ended up moving out of state, completely out of state, away from me. I don't have to see him. I don't have to be bothered with him. He's gone. And in that time frame of him moving out of state, he was blessed with a GS government service job. Okay? More. I mean, it was a big blessing because it's a pretty big job. And with this job came a lot of income. See where I'm going? So the job came a lot of income, and it was just like, woo! Not only is he gone, but he's making money, more income, everything. And I tell you what, I was still paying my tithes. Anytime someone gave me money, I don't care. You cash out me money, I was giveifying right on out there, the whole temple. Or to New Life, New Life Ministries in Fort Campbell. I was flying it up, boy, every time. And it seemed like every time I would give, God would give more. Every time I would give more. But anyways, I'm getting to the good part. Well, this year, every year my pastor gives us this thing called our like affirmation or declaration or whatever you want to call it for the year, our thing of the year. And this year was double portion. So I'm like, all right, God, I see you. I see what you're doing. I see where we at now. All right. You done blessed this man to get away. Well, my son's father, not only is he making way more money, I mean, talking about way more money, but he's far away, and it made me eligible to request an increase. And so, let me back it up. Wait a minute. I asked my son's father for Christmas. I said, hey, can you give me, like $100 for his Christmas? Because I really couldn't afford Christmas for my son. And I asked him, I said, and then, we're going to be moving into our own place. So can you, help me out with getting a few things there? He told me, no, I will only give you what the court requires. Okay. That's fine with me. Okay. And I prayed about it, left it alone. I was upset, but I prayed about it and left it alone. So let me give it to you on how God did things, okay? People don't understand. God will work that thing out for you in ways you didn't even see coming. So I was like, okay, now fast forward back, my son, his dad's moved income went up. So I prayed, and I went on about my way. And then it turned out, I'm going to tell you how God moves. We went to court. Now remember, I only asked for like $150 a month increase. It wasn't even every month. It was like two times. That's all I asked, 2 times. I said for Christmas and for, when we move. Okay, well, God opened the door for my son and I we found a place. We moved. Hallelujah. After a year or so, we moved into our own place. We didn't have everything. We still don't have everything we need, but God's working on that now. But my pastor's thing of the year was double portion. To be doubly blessed. And I was like, all right, cool. So we go to court. And my son's father, I told him, look, he got the court stuff. He said, we're going to court. He was like, you ain't getting no money. You ain't getting this. All right, cool. I was like, all right, whatever. So we get to court. And the judge begins to look at stuff. He's looking and, all right. So tell me why the judge doubled my child support. Like he doubled it. I only asked for $150, which would total was $300 just all together. And he turned it around, he turned that thing around and doubled my child support. When I tell you, God got blessings you ain't even seen. He moves in ways you ain't even thought of, man. When I tell you God worked that thing out for me, oh, man. Not only did he doubled it, but he backdated it. I was like, Jesus, I see you, Lord. All right, Lord. This what we doing today. That's what we're doing today. So, the moral of the story is, the moral of my testimony is, when you are faithful to God, He is faithful to you. So be faithful, be encouraged. Do not let what the devil is showing you think that is your reality. You are a child of the King, the Most High. He has everything that is needed. So you be blessed. Stay encouraged. Keep praying. Keep being faithful. And most of all, pay your tithes. Because when you are faithful in your giving, God is faithful in giving back. Okay? 10 times more. Double. All right. God bless. I love you all. Keep praying for me as I pray for you.